The Victorian period of literature roughly coincides with the years that Queen Victoria ruled Great Britain and its empire on the year 1837 to 1901. During the Victorian era, the influence of literature became more prevalent in society as reading evolved into a social pastime indicated by the increasing literacy rate. Some of the prominent Victorian writers are Dickens, Thackeray, Eliot, and Tennyson. Since literature was an accessible and pervasive part of Victorian society, studying it is crucial in understanding the attitudes and concerns of the people who lived during this era. Poetry was one of the most popular genres of the Victorian period, even if novels was the dominant form of literature during the Victorian era. Poets continued to experiment with the style and methods of storytelling in their poems. Charles Dickens was born on February 7, 1812, in Portsmouth on the southern coast of England, and he died on June 19, 1870. He was a British novelist, journalist, editor, illustrator, and social commentator who wrote such beloved classical novels as Oliver Twist, A Christmas Carol, Nicholas Nickleby, David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Cities, and Great Expectations. In this video, what we are going to talk about Charles Dickens' work is his poem entitled The Ivy Green. This poem has a theme of death. The character of this poem is the poet. He is the one that describes the resilient characteristics of green ivy and its ability to make a feast of what man leaves behind. The setting is this ivy green creeping where no life is seen, just like cemetery. The mood in this setting heightens the picture of loneliness and desolation. The green ivy is described as horrifying, while the ruins, lone and cold, crumbled, decayed, moldering dust, were about the mortality. The poem begins with the speaker describing the worlds that ivy enjoys the most. It thrives, it places, left in despair, and mankind no longer has any interest in it. It winds itself around crumbled and decaying walls, and makes meals from the dust that years have made. He continues to intricately personify how ivy moves and consumes what's in its path. It slithers and slides like a snake while ruthlessly taking everything that it wants. And on the last part, he explains after humankind passes away and all the works of the world abandoned, ivy will ivy will still be there. It will never fade or die off, as there is always something for it to consume. The author also uses literary devices on this poem, just like this line. The wall must be crumbled, the stone decayed, the pleasure his dainty win, and also this line. In his cell so lone and cold. These lines are personification because it reveals that he's very lonely. Another literary devices that is used is consonants. For example, and his leaves he gently waves. It is consonant because it has the repetition of the same consonant sound. It has the repetition of the consonant sounds in a line or text. Moving on, the presences of religious beliefs in poems are due to Dickens' upbringing and life experiences. Charles Dickens has depicted religious belief, especially having a strong faith in God in his poems. But in the Green Ivy poem is different, which was about death. Charles Dickens was against the traditional beliefs of the religion. He instead believed in God in general and not fanatical beliefs of the organized religions. In the last line of the poem, it gives the moral that from the beginning until the end of humanity, there is a way, there is a will when we want to achieve something in our life. So that's all for this video on Charles Dickens and his poem, which is The Ivy Green.